Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow and suddenly, nothing anyone says about you hurts anymore. No overthinking, no guilt, no constant noise in your head replaying conversations. Just silence, clarity, freedom. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you this kind of freedom isn't something you earn after years of struggle? It's something you agree to. That's the hidden idea behind the 4 agreements. Not rules, not discipline, not motivation, but simple inner agreements that quietly shape your entire life. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who believed he was tired because of work, so he changed jobs, still tired. He thought maybe it was money. He earned more, still restless. Then he thought, maybe people around me are the problem. So he distanced himself, and yet, something inside him still felt heavy. One day, someone asked him a strange question. What if nothing outside is actually exhausting you? What if it's the agreements inside your own mind? That question changed everything, because whether you realize it or not, your life is governed by invisible contracts. Contracts like, I must prove myself. I shouldn't fail. People must respect me. I'm not good enough unless I succeed. You didn't sign these consciously, they were given to you by family, society, teachers, failures, experiences, and slowly, without questioning, you accepted them. And that's where the real story begins. Picture a child who laughs loudly, asks questions, makes mistakes, speaks without fear. That child doesn't worry about being judged, doesn't replay conversations at night, doesn't feel not enough. Then something changes. Someone says, don't talk like that. Another says, you should be better. Another compares, look at them. Why can't you be like that? And slowly, the child starts creating agreements. I must be perfect. I should not make mistakes. My value depends on others' approval. Now fast forward. That child is now an adult. But those agreements? Still running silently in the background. And here's the truth most people never realize. You're not suffering because of reality. You're suffering because of the meaning you've agreed to give to reality. Someone ignores your message. You don't just see it as silence, you interpret it. They don't respect me. I'm not important. Something is wrong with me. But is that reality or is that an agreement? Let's go deeper. There's a voice in your head. You hear it every day. It comments, judges, predicts, criticizes. You're not doing enough. That was embarrassing. They must think you're stupid. And the scary part? You believe it. But here's the twist. This voice isn't you. It's a collection of borrowed opinions. Think about it. When you criticize yourself, whose voice does it sound like? A parent? A teacher? Society? You've internalized these voices so deeply, they feel like truth. And because you've agreed to believe them, they control your emotions. Now imagine something radical. What if you could break those agreements? What if you could choose new ones? Let's start with something simple, but powerful. Words. Not the words others say to you, the words you say to yourself. Because words are not just sounds, they are instructions. If you keep telling yourself, I'm unlucky, your brain starts looking for proof. If you say, I always mess things up, your actions slowly align with that belief. It's like planting seeds. Every word you repeat becomes a belief. Every belief becomes behavior. Every behavior becomes your life. Now think about this. If someone constantly told a child, you're useless, would you expect that child to grow confident? Of course not. Then why do you expect confidence? When you speak to yourself that way, you wouldn't poison your friend with harsh words, but you do it to yourself daily, and you've agreed that it's normal, but it's not. Changing your life doesn't start with big actions. It starts with the smallest shift, how you speak, because your words are shaping your identity every single day. Now let's talk about something even more dangerous. Assumptions. Imagine this. Your friend walks past you and doesn't greet you. Instantly your mind goes, they're ignoring me. They're upset with me. I must have done something wrong. But what actually happened? They just walked past. Everything else was created by your mind. This is how most people live, not reacting to reality, but reacting to stories they made up about reality. And those stories feel so real that they trigger real emotions. You feel hurt, angry, anxious, but the cause wasn't the event, it was the assumption. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of your stress doesn't come from facts. It comes from interpretations. You see a delayed reply and create a story. You hear a tone and create a story. You see a look and create a story. And then you suffer inside a reality that doesn't even exist. Isn't that exhausting? Now imagine living without constantly guessing, overthinking, predicting. Just asking, just clarifying, just seeing things as they are. It sounds simple, but it feels like freedom. But there's one agreement that's the hardest to break. The belief that everything is about you. Someone is rude. You think it's because of you. Someone is quiet. You think you did something wrong. Someone criticizes. You take it personally. But what if I told you? Most people aren't reacting to you. They're reacting to their own world, their stress, their past, their fears, their beliefs. When someone speaks harshly, it's often a reflection of their inner state, not your worth. Think of it like this. If someone throws mud at you, you don't become dirty unless you hold on to it. But emotionally, we catch everything. We carry words, tones, judgments, like they define us. And slowly, we build an identity based on others' opinions. But here's the truth. People see you through the lens of their own experiences, not your reality. So why give them the power to define you? Now let me ask you something. How often do you give your full effort? Not perfection, not overwork, just your honest, complete effort in the moment. Because most people live in extremes. Either they do too little and feel guilty, or they overdo and burn out. But the real magic lies somewhere in between. Doing your best, not based on pressure, not based on comparison, but based on who you are in that moment. Some days your best is high energy, focused, unstoppable. Other days your best is just getting through. And that's okay. Because consistency doesn't come from perfection, it comes from acceptance. When you stop judging your effort, you start improving it. When you stop punishing yourself, you start growing naturally. Now step back and see the bigger picture. Your life is not controlled by circumstances. It's controlled by the agreements you've accepted. Change the agreements, and you change your experience of life. Not the events, not the people, but how you see them. And that changes everything. Imagine walking into a room without needing approval. Imagine hearing criticism without feeling attacked. Imagine facing failure without losing your sense of self. That's not confidence built from success. That's freedom built from inner clarity. And it doesn't come from changing the world. It comes from changing the rules you've been silently following. Let me leave you with this. Right now, as you're listening to this, there are beliefs inside you that are not yours. Expectations you didn't choose. Fears you inherited. Standards you accepted without question. And they're shaping your life. But here's the beautiful part. You can rewrite them. Not all at once, not perfectly, but consciously. One thought at a time. One reaction at a time. One agreement at a time. Because the moment you realize that your mind is programmable, you stop being a victim of your thoughts and start becoming the creator of your reality. And maybe, just maybe, the freedom you've been chasing outside and was quietly waiting inside you all along.